Good evening, salutations, my GH fans. Start off with Miss Wu. I feel like at this point, Curtis needs to get his staff on board for the new, pretty much change in management. Okay, Curtis is not there hanging out at the poolside with Finn and Violet and Gregory and Chase, and I felt like I forgot somebody. They're all sitting there congratulating him on his marriage and everything, and he gets a call from I guess I forgot her name. He gets a call. This Wu came in there, and at first this woman was like, "Yo, we're not open." She pretty much like, "Well, I know Curtis. He allows me in pretty much kind of whenever I want. It's fine, and you can give me some iced tea." She's all like, "Oh, well, the bar isn't opening yet." I'm pretty sure you should be going back there trying to find some iced tea. I don't care if you have to go to the damn supermarket. You better find this woman some iced tea. Um, So she calls. I think her name is like Lanika or something like that. I'm not really too sure. But she calls up Courage. And she's like, yeah, this woman named Miss Wu. She kind of just like barged on in here, and even though I told her that the place is closed, she still practically decides to start ordering me around. So he gets down there, and she's smiling. She's like, oh, what took you so long? Curtis is under this impression that it's still his nightclub. Okay, and at this point, I don't know if I should just call him stupid or if it's just laughable at this point. She starts coming up with these ideas. She's all like, "Oh, I want to sit there and give y'all an upgrade on the sound system. I think it will really help, your music and the clientele and everything like that." And he's like, "Well, it's my club and this, that, and the third." And you know, she's like, "Yeah, well, my guests, they really like it. It became their home." Okay. There is things that she is saying that she's being subtle about it, but she's letting him know, yeah, this isn't your place anymore. Okay, my clients are considering your little den home. And when she's all like, when he's all like, oh, well, listen, you're not going to be, oh, because she suggested that they hire local talents like Chase, because she has an interest in him. Because I guess they did the Haunted Star thing, and he was a real great hit. So she was like, "Yo, listen, you should you should book him over here." He's all like, "Oh, well, this is my club, and yada yada yada. You're not going to come in here and tell me how to run my place." And she's like, "No, no, 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 I'm not doing that. Of course, it's your club." But then she proceeds to sit there and tell him how to run his place. At this point, I'm like, bro, why? I'm just like, you don't understand that you don't own this place anymore. Okay? She is walking in whenever she wants. She is ordering on your staff and telling them, make my drinks, go get this, go get that. But somehow he walks up in this place and he thinks it's still his. You know what's really funny? He's sitting there telling Drew to get his house in order. And yet he's having somebody else run his whole establishment. Great advice, Curtis. Great advice. So Stella comes to see Jordan. And after a good 15 minutes of her meandering around to what she was going to say, she finally tells Jordan that, hey, those divorce papers, yeah, I took them. I want to give y'all a fighting chance. I really believed in y'all and this, that, and the third. And she is livid. She's like, yo, you're still married right now. Courage comes in there, and Jordan's like, yo, what did you bow her in here for? At first, I was sitting there thinking that Courage was going to sit there and ask Jordan for help getting rid of Miss Wu. I was going to laugh my ass off. That would have been the funniest thing. But no, he's all like, oh, well, I just talked to my lawyer, and apparently the divorce paper didn't get signed, so, what's up? And at first I'm looking, I'm like, bro, you looking at her? I mean, granted, it makes sense. She was the last person that had those divorce papers, but I'm like, I feel like Stella should have told Curtis first. I really do. I really feel like Stella should have told Curtis first. Because if Stella wasn't there and Curtis had got there a lot earlier, Curtis would have sat there and got upset with Jordan for something that she didn't even do. So the fact that he's walking in there, and I'm assuming he's looking at Jordan like, oh, why you sign those papers for? Why you sit there and deliver them? This, that, and third. And once again, he's just gonna, well, look like an ass and out of line. So I have no idea why she told her first before her own nephew. I don't really get that. This is something that I think I forgot to say, and this is something that I heard from Instagram. One of the soap pages on Instagram that Sophia, the woman that played um, Lois, was thinking about returning. And I was just like, that is a terrible idea. Because the fact of the matter is, they got way too many damn people. And if she thought that it was going to be bad on B&B, with them just being like, oh, why don't you stick around? We'll come up with something for you. How do you think that she's going to be treated on GH, where she's probably going to be rotated every, what, once a month, maybe? It's a terrible idea. Anyway, Ned is there trying to give some valuable advice to Brooklyn. Because now that Brooklyn and Chase are a couple, working together and playing together doesn't always wind up ending well. And that's pretty much what he's there trying to tell her. But she's all like, no, I got this, that, and the third, and I'm good, and blah, 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 blah. And Chase comes in there, and Chase talks to Ned about sort of the same thing. So Ned leaves. And for a split second, I was going to call him Justin, but Ned leaves, and Chase and Brooklyn are talking, and Chase is like, you know what, listen, since we're getting together and we're working together, why don't you sit there and just drop this whole going after the length thing? Why don't you just drop that whole thing? She's like, no, I can't do it because we're going to be fine and we're going to have it all and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, okay, boo. Clearly you know what's best, so good luck with that. I'm not exactly a super fan of this whole her trying to get back her songs. The thing is that I am not a musician. Okay. I can sit there and look at this story and be like, this is stupid that she's trying to get back music that he already owns. He already sold it to him. Like, that's it. Make new music. But not a musician. Yeah, not a musician. Um, so I can't sit there and, with her music was personal. It was personal. Stuff happened to her in her life, and she turned that either joy or sorrow in the music. So I mean, I understand why she. I mean, I don't. I'm trying to get why why she wants her music back, but I mean, just in general, I'm not exactly fully on board with that. Sonny was not there asking Ava a bunch of questions like, "Oh, do you think Nick did it? Do you think Nicholas did it? Do you think he just didn't try to kill you?" And this, that, and the third. And I'm kind of just like, he's on to something, you know. Seeing how Ava was staying at the Metro Court. Um, I'm talking about Esme just being out of town, and Ava's like, you know more than what you're saying. But Ava's not there trying to keep a lot of stuff close to the vest. Um, so in reality, it's like he's speculating stuff that she thinks that maybe Nicholas didn't do anything, but what's the story with Esme? Like he knows that she's lying to him about something. He's not really giving her much to go on. So in some ways, it kind of just went nowhere. And that's just unfortunately, that's just how some of those scenes in this episode is. Like Nicholas comes to Liz, and this is after Dante was meant to talking to Liz about Ava and everything, and Liz was like, "Yo, let's go in the conference room. We gotta talk." Liz accuses, pretty much, she accuses Nicholas of having something to do with hurting Ava. But Nicholas, he's all like, "Oh, I didn't do it," and I'm worried about Ava and this, that, and the third. And I'm sitting there trying to cover for you, and you're looking at the worst for me. And of course, Liz is sitting there thinking that there's a good possibility that she did it. Ben is sitting there talking to his dad about trying to get advice about helping Liz, which, to be honest, I don't think he really gave her. He didn't really give him really any good advice except for probably just to listen. Talked about Nicholas and how he he has issues with Nicholas. A lot has to do with Hayden Barnes leaving because of him. Um, Probably doesn't have really good pass, and honestly, to tell you the truth, it's probably a little bit of jealousy though too. Because when he gets in that office and he sees them hugging, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. They're talking about Nicholas for a little bit, and I'm going to be honest, this is another one of those scenes that didn't really go too much of anywhere. Now, before Curtis got to see Miss Wu, Cody showed up. Cody was like, "I got a proposition. You deal me into the game. I can sit there and give you a cut. I need to sit there and run out of town. Leave town." So Ms. Wu changes the deal. She's pretty much like, "Yo, listen, I need you to affect the outcome of the game, not just yourself." And at first, he's like, I don't really know. He talks to Dante about Mac investigating him and pretty much thinking that, Mac is trying to railroad him. But Dante is like, yo, listen, he's a good guy. He's a stand up guy. I trust him with my life. Like, he's the most fairest person that I know. I don't think that really quelled Cody's concerns because he does call Miss Wu back and he's like, all right, I'll do it. I'm in, I'll, he'll play the game. Because, she said that he's going to make more money his way, her way, than if he was just to do some quick, fast scheme or whatever just to kind of give her a little bit of money. Now I'm just like, all right, so let's see. Who does Miss Wu got in her pocket so far? Curtis, Deception, Cody, Britt. I almost forgot about Britt. And Brad. That's another person I haven't seen in, well, a while. And the sad part is that I really don't care about seeing Brad. For story purposes, yes. Story purposes, I didn't like where the story was going. Brad, personally, I can't stand him. So, I don't know how to feel about that. I really don't. I feel like that's about it. I can't remember. I can't really remember anything else that happened or anything that was too pertinent. Now, one of the things that is said on the site, and I'm not really too sure about this when I was there watching it, was that it apparently wasn't playing, like the episode wasn't playing in a lot of different parts of the world. Um, but it could have just been wrong. I tried to check on Hulu, but I checked at 8 o'clock, and even though it's supposed to come on at 8 o'clock, it wasn't there. So I don't know what that's about, but Hulu has been late when it came towards their GH episode, so I feel like I might have missed something towards the end, but I'm not really too sure. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.